Close your eyes and imagine, for a moment, standing in the shadow of a towering pyramid under the hot Egyptian sun. The world, as you know it, is about to change. History isn't just a series of dates and dusty facts. It's a living story, full of turning points that shaped everything you touch today. Tonight, let's walk through 10 moments that changed our world forever. Each one is a step in the great journey of humanity, explained simply so you can drift off with a sense of wonder. First, journey back more than 4,000 years ago. The pyramids of Egypt aren't just stone piles. They're a symbol of what happens when humans come together with a shared vision. Before the pyramids, people lived scattered in small tribes, often focused only on survival. But building these massive structures required organization, math, and engineering skills that didn't exist before. Workers, architects, and planners had to cooperate on a scale never seen before. This was the birth of large-scale human collaboration. Suddenly, the idea of a society, ruled by laws and guided by leaders, became possible. The pyramids themselves are silent witnesses to the moment when humans learned the power of unity and vision. Now leap forward to ancient Greece, around 508 BCE. Imagine a city where, instead of one ruler making all the decisions, citizens would gather and vote on important issues. This was Athens, the birthplace of democracy. Before, power always belonged to kings or tyrants. With democracy, ordinary people had a voice. They could debate, disagree, and choose their leaders. This concept didn't just change Athens. It planted the seed that would grow into modern governments all over the world. The simple act of voting, something you might take for granted, traces its roots back to these bustling city squares. Next, picture a vast army marching across continents. The Roman Empire at its height stretched from northern Britain all the way to the deserts of Egypt. But their greatest achievement wasn't just conquest. It was connection. The Romans built roads, bridges, and aqueducts that linked distant lands. For the first time, people could travel safely from city to city, share ideas, trade goods, and learn new customs. This web of roads and shared language turned Europe into a connected world. Even today, some highways follow the routes laid out by Roman engineers. It's a reminder that every journey you take owes something to their vision of unity. As the Roman world faded, a new force rose in the Middle East. Around the 10th century, Islam emerged, not just as a religion, but as a movement that united diverse peoples. The Islamic Golden Age brought together thinkers, scientists, poets, and traders from across Africa, Asia, and Europe. In Baghdad, scholars translated ancient Greek texts and wrote new ones about astronomy, medicine, and math. Algebra, the numbers you use every day, and even the concept of zero, all spread thanks to these thinkers. The world became richer, more curious, and more interconnected, proof that ideas can leap across borders and change lives. Now imagine the clatter of wooden ships and the excitement of discovery. In 1492, Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic Ocean, connecting Europe and the Americas for the first time. Suddenly, two worlds that never knew each other existed were joined. This moment sparked an age of exploration, trade, and, yes, conflict. Foods like tomatoes, potatoes, and chocolate traveled across oceans, forever changing diets and cultures. The world shrank, and the idea of a global community began to take shape. Every ingredient in your kitchen, every map you've ever seen, carries traces of that first daring voyage. But new lands brought new challenges. In the 1600s, as cities grew crowded, disease spread quickly. The plague, smallpox, and other illnesses devastated populations. Then came the microscope, a tiny instrument that opened up an invisible world. Scientists like Antonia van Leeuwenhoek peered into droplets of water and saw tiny animalcules moving about. For the first time, people understood that diseases weren't curses or bad luck, but caused by living organisms. This changed everything. Clean water, public health, and medicine all improved. Every time you wash your hands, you're practicing wisdom born from the moment humans saw the microbial world. Now step into the 18th century, where ideas about freedom and equality begin to stir. The American and French revolutions weren't just political events. They were statements that ordinary people deserved rights. The idea that all men are created equal was radical. Governments were forced to answer to their people, and the concept of human rights started to spread. These revolutions inspired movements all over the globe. Every time you speak your mind or vote, you're echoing the voices of those who demanded freedom centuries ago. The next moment is quieter but no less powerful. In the late 1700s, James Watt perfected the steam engine. At first, it was just a way to pump water out of mines. But soon, it powered trains, ships, and factories. The Industrial Revolution transformed how people lived and worked. Goods could be made faster and cheaper. Cities grew, jobs changed. For the first time, humans weren't limited by muscle or animals. Machines took over. The world sped up, and life became a whirlwind of possibilities. Every train ride, every factory-made item is a tribute to the moment when steam changed everything. In the 19th century, science took another leap. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution explained how all living things are connected and change over time. It was a simple but powerful idea. Survival isn't just about strength, but about adapting to the world. Darwin's work challenged old beliefs and opened minds to the wonders of nature. Today, when you see a bird, a flower, or your own family, you're seeing the results of millions of years of adaptation and change. A story written in every living thing. Finally, let's end with a moment that touches the very words you're listening to now. In 1440, Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press. Before this, books were copied by hand and were rare, expensive treasures. With the printing press, knowledge exploded. Suddenly, anyone could read about science, religion, or adventure. Ideas spread faster than ever. The printing press gave birth to newspapers, novels, and, eventually, the internet. Every page you turn, every word you read owes its existence to the simple act of pressing ink onto paper. These 10 moments aren't just history. They're the foundation of your world. The pyramids showed us the power of teamwork. Athens taught us about democracy. Rome united continents. The Islamic Golden Age sparked curiosity. Columbus linked worlds. The microscope revealed invisible dangers. Revolutions demanded freedom. Steam engines powered progress. Darwin unveiled the secrets of life. The printing press shared knowledge. But what do these moments mean, really? They're reminders that change doesn't happen all at once. It builds, step by step, through courage, curiosity, and sometimes even mistakes. Think about the pyramids. They weren't built in a day. It took years of planning, thousands of hands, and the willingness to dream big. Or the printing press. Gutenberg didn't set out to transform the world. He just wanted to make books easier to produce. Yet the ripple effect of his invention changed everything. Human progress is about connection. Every breakthrough came because people shared ideas, learned from each other, and worked together. The roads of Rome, the books of Gutenberg, the debates of Athens all show that when we link minds and hearts, the impossible becomes possible. You don't need to be a king, a scientist, or an inventor to make a difference. Every time you listen, learn, and share, you're part of the story. Imagine tonight, as you close your eyes, you're walking through a museum of the world. Each room filled with the echoes of these moments. The pyramids rise in one corner, solid and silent. In another, a Greek assembly buzzes with voices. Roman roads stretch into the distance. Scholars in Baghdad write by lamplight. A ship crosses endless ocean waves. A scientist peers into a drop of water and gasps. Crowds gather, demanding freedom. Machines hiss and clank. A quiet man studies finches in the Galapagos, and in a small workshop, a press thumps out a page. Each scene is more than a memory. It's a lesson. The pyramids teach patience and vision. Athens shows the power of debate and choice. Rome's roads remind us to reach out and connect. The Islamic Golden Age calls us to be curious, to ask questions. Columbus's voyage warns us about both discovery and responsibility. The microscope urges us to look deeper. Revolutions inspire us to stand up. The steam engine says, "Don't be afraid of change." Darwin encourages us to adapt. The printing press whispers, share what you know. So how do these moments help you sleep smarter tonight? They remind you that the world is always changing, and so are you. Your worries, your dreams, your challenges are all part of a larger story. If ancient builders could lift stones toward the sky, if thinkers could invent democracy, if explorers could risk the unknown, then you too can face tomorrow with hope and courage. Before sleep takes you, let these moments settle in your mind. Understand that history isn't just old. It's alive in every conversation, every invention, every step you take. You are connected to all those who came before and to all who will come after. The world is big, but you're part of it. Progress is made by people who ask, "What if?" and who dare to try. Tonight, as you drift off, picture yourself as a link in this long chain of change. You're not alone. You're part of a story that began with stones and sails, words and wheels. Whatever challenges wait tomorrow, remember that change is possible, and greatness begins with small steps. Sleep well, knowing you're the heir to 10 moments that change the world, and that the next moment could be yours. Good night.